Hey there, I'm Christine Collins, and I wanted to share with you a little bit of insight about whether or not to talk in your content about world events and really big things that are happening. I get asked that question by clients about things that are going on in the world at large, things that are really big and feel really important, and whether or not we should touch on that in our content. And if so, how? I think the first thing that's important to recognize is that when there is something happening at a global level, or even when there are really big things going on in your community, it's already on everyone's mind. It's already there, whether it's in the forefront or it's in the background. It's somewhere in their mind space, and it's potentially already taking up a lot of room for them. So if we ignore that and try to just kind of keep plowing forward, in some ways we are kind of doing that individual and our audience a disservice, because it's almost as though we are ignoring something that's hugely important to them, and in a way kind of ignoring the elephant in the room. And by not addressing it at all, it might make us appear to be insensitive. That doesn't mean that every single time something happens, it needs to be part of our content. So use your judgment with that and kind of establish who your audience is, where their headspace is in various different situations. If it's something that could be very relevant to them, then it may well be worth at least mentioning it or addressing it in some way. And the other thing that I think is really important is that we don't minimize how people are feeling. I think it can be tempting to want so much to be an uplifter that as a result we disregard the very powerful emotions of sadness or fear or whatever our audience may be experiencing. And we don't want to do them that disservice either. We want to acknowledge that what they are feeling is valid and not kind of brush over it in our attempt to be positive and to be uplifting. We all handle crises in different ways. So there may be some members of your audience that need and want to talk about it. And then there may be some members of your audience that have really had enough of it and don't want to see a lot more information or a lot more conversation around that topic. Sometimes we need to be able to talk, and in talking about it, we feel better. And in other cases, we may need to not focus on it. We may need to have a distraction, maybe a little bit of humor or something else that can engage our intellect, engage our minds in a really healthy, constructive way. So I think it's just about being sensitive to the fact that everyone handles things differently, and that we as leaders and entrepreneurs are sensitive to the fact that some people are maybe really struggling and feel better by addressing things, and other people may really need for their own mental health to not be focused on that issue. And for you as a content creator, striking a balance and deciding from what you know about your audience, what is it that they need? It's about them. Your content is always about them. Your message is always about them. It's never about you. It doesn't mean you can't express yourself, but it's always about creating something that they want to read, that they want to watch, that's going to be highly relevant to them. And finally, that as entrepreneurs, we are the leaders, the innovators, and the creators in this world. And therefore, we have a responsibility to uplift, to create compassion, to create hope. And so allow your messaging to reflect that, to reflect the type of entrepreneur and leader and innovator that you are. And that will go a long way for your audience in helping them to really understand who you are as an entrepreneur, who you are as a business owner, and helping them to feel a little bit better. That by touching them with your content, they come away having a sense of calm, maybe a sense of hope, and certainly a sense that you have compassion for them and their situation and all of the things that are going on. Again, I'm Christine Collins, and I hope that you have a magical and creative rest of your day.